Talking of daylight robbery, goodness me, it's been revealed today that the former NatWest boss, Dame Alison Rose, is to be handed a bumper, and I mean a bumper, payoff worth more than 2.4 million quid. Yes, she resigned. Well, the truth is she should have been sacked. She resigned last month after 4 years in the post as chief exec over her own handling of the Nigel Farage account closure scandal. Now, Dame Alison Rose admitted to discussing his bank details with a BBC journalist after the former UKIP leader claimed he'd been debanked by Coutts, which is a division, a subsidiary of NatWest. And he was debanked for his political views. So a leaked dossier from the bank later showed that actually Farage's views were to be at odds with Coutts' position as an inclusive organisation. I mean, just extraordinary. And what has now been dubbed by Nigel today literally a sick joke. The bank's confirmed that she's seeing out a 12-month notice period, so she gets £1 million for that of salary, along with a similar amount in shares that will hope possibly grow in value, pension payments, and yes, the bank will review the notice period on a continuing basis. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Let's just remind ourselves that actually she left the bank because she breached one of the most fundamental codes of banking, which is client confidentiality. She spoke to a journalist about a specific client and the quantity of money that that client did or did not have. That was in breach of Financial Conduct Authority rules. She then also lied about what she said. She was found out at every level. The board of directors then tried to keep her in post, led by the chairman. They had a sort of an afternoon meeting, error of judgment, I'm so sorry. Such was the outrage. There was a midnight meeting that very same day where everybody agreed that actually they got it completely wrong and she had to go. They deliberately allowed her to resign rather than fire her so that she could bank this cash. This is the establishment working, looking after its own. Absolutely. And now, to have so misjudged the mood of the people and where the world's at, to think this is appropriate. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I'm calling for the chairman of the bank, Howard Davis, to resign. I think the whole board should resign.
Well, I agree with you, because I've said consistently that what we've seen here is bad governance. And we've seen bad governance, and this is where we should have a bigger interest, because we are, via the state, via the government, the largest shareholder in NatWest, which means that it's slightly different. Now, in any bank, you have good levers and bad levers. A good lever is somebody who goes, they've done a great job, and you want to sort of hand them off and say, thank you very much indeed. They see out the notice period, and they move on, they go and do something else. A bad lever is somebody who has basically broken the rules, and you're gone, and you get nothing on your way out. Now, if those shares that she's taking with her were given to her before all this happened, fair enough, fine, take them. But anything since, no. And I really disagree with the way that the board are behaving, and I totally agree with you, Richard, on this. And I think that we should be more angry. And it's not about the establishment. It's actually about big companies and how they behave, and also boards and non-executives and how they behave. A non-executive director, and these guys are paid £200,000 plus to do that job. They are there for governance. This is bad governance. This is a bad precedent. It sends all the wrong messages, and I don't think that we, as shareholders in this institution, should be paying off for somebody who broke the rules as egregiously and went out sort of kicking and screaming before they did.
But the question is it possible to unravel her payoff deal? I mean, I think there'll be huge political outrage over this. I think we've already heard Nigel Farage going on a massive rant about it, quite rightly understand his frustration. But the question is, can anything be changed now? They've announced the pay. She's been given a pay packet.
Yes, I mean, they've, in a very political way, they've announced that sort of inquiry or investigation into exactly what's gone on.
Which has been kicked down the road.
Which has been kicked down the road, again, in a very political way. And there's been a hoo-ha about the particular law firm that's been put in place. But that because the chap in charge of it is a very, very well-known Remainer who wrote an article the day after the referendum saying that this was all, you know, a bunch of some bigots and xenophobes and racists and so on. So people are saying, well, how can he possibly be involved in this investigation into who said what about Nigel Farage? Personally, I think that's probably a little bit unfair. If you look at most people in the city, you're going to find an awful lot of people that have gone public with their, you know, distaste over Brexit. And I think that's a number of years ago, kind of maybe allow things to move on. But I think that way... Well, I know, but I think things have to move on.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having a view. Everybody's got a view. and being prominent about it. And if you're prominent about it, and it's very clear that you're going to have an angle...
Well, I think you made a mistake.
They've made a mistake. And I think that... But if you have a look at this is outrageous in terms of what they're doing, and it is about governance, and I think the board should resign.
The whole lot.
What's your column called? Rich people problems, right?
Yes.
Yeah, to me, that's all I hear of this. I hear rich people problems. But what I mean is, I think while some people in the public are annoyed about it, I think generally people think. So we're talking about a rich person who's lost his... Okay,
Rich is a relative term.
We're talking about somebody who banks with coutts, so probably is quite wealthy and has lost his bank account.
No, but the wider point is this was a bank that was bailed out and the taxpayer has spent... We have spent our own money...
It's your money.
...to prop up this bank.
It's your money.
I understand that, but I'm saying to you how part of the public will perceive this is...
Yeah,
this
how
is rich
relevant.
people. Yeah, how relevant is it to someone else?
No, they perceive it
I get that.
as rich people in the city looking after themselves.